Hey everyone, this is Casey. David, thanks for having me and really appreciate it. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to create your own trading robot with ChatGPT. It's really pretty amazing. I built out my, can you guys hear me okay? Because I got a comment from Jonathan saying he can't hear me. I built out a robot in a very short period of time. And I have been trading for a long time, but I've never been able to figure out how to code because, wow, it's just so complicated. So I'm just going to run through. I'm going to show you the basics, and then what you're going to do from there is you can play with it on your own. Because once you start playing with it, it's just a lot of fun. It really is. So I'm going to just kind of run from the beginning. And the thing about this is it's just fun with whatever you're doing. Since I got connected with this, I've been using it for so many components of my business, for my trading, for helping me put out content, for helping me write emails, for helping me write articles, for giving me ideas. I mean, you can literally, the thing is, everybody's going to start using AI. The way that we are going to be able to take advantage of AI is whoever uses it the most effectively. Because if everybody's going to be using it, it's like, well, where's my skill set going to come in? Is it going to steal everybody's job? Is like, how, if the computer knows everything, how will I play a part in this? And the way that I've been thinking about this a lot, because I was a little nervous. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, I put out content for a living. I teach people trading. If the robot can do this, if ChatGPT can do this, what do they need me for? But you have to kind of think, okay, how can I effectively use this, and how creative can I be in using this great tool? And so take a look at how this works. We'll just go through and set it up. So the first thing is you just Google ChatGPT, and it'll take you to this page here. And you have to have an account. So you just, if you haven't created an account, you do that. It takes a minute to do, but you just click try ChatGPT, and it'll put up your homepage, right? And so you just basically tell this what to do. So it says, got any creative ideas for a 10-year-old's birthday? How do I make an HTTP request in JavaScript? So one thing, my friend did it for something really kind of funny. Is him and his wife were going on vacation, and she wanted to go skiing and he wanted to go tubing. And, you could always do both, but he just said, give me 10 reasons why tubing is better than skiing, right? And then ChatGPT will go ahead and give you 10 really good reasons, although it's not working right now. And so that is one of the problems I was concerned about, is because sometimes if it's really busy, it might not be working. But you have to just keep trying. So it's just because it's been so popular and everybody is trying it. So I'm going to try one more time here. And if not, I can show you some of the stuff. See, it says, I can show you some of the stuff I've already built, because I've already built these robots, and I can show you how to do it. So just a couple of things that I've used it for too. Here we go. So so now it's giving me the 10 reasons. I have a podcast called the How to Trade It podcast, right? And I needed an editor for my podcast. And so I needed to write a job description. So I said, write me a good job description for a podcast editor. And so boom, it wrote me the job description. Then I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I hire a great editor. So I said, ChatGPT, write me 25 questions that I should ask a potential hire for a podcast editor. And then boom, it came up with 25 great questions. And so I was able to get this job post done in literally 2 minutes. Normally it would have taken me a lot of time and research. So I was able to accelerate my time by 10x. and I was able to hire an editor really fast. Okay. And so the same thing will happen with some coding stuff, right? So we can even come up with trading ideas, trading strategies. I mean, you just play with this more and more, and it's really helpful. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a very basic computer program. So I'm going to show you, you can do this for TradingView, and you can do this for any trading platform. You just have to know the language that you're going to be using, and you need to know a couple basics about how to use it. So I'm going to show you how to use it for MT4, because that was the one I was playing with. I was also playing with TradingView. We got TradingView here. You just click Pine Editor, and you just tell them how to do it in PineScript. And then I have MT4 right here. And if MT4, you just use this compiler tool here, and it brings up the coding section, right? So I'm just gonna close these, and I'm gonna do a new one. So I'm just gonna show you how to do it. So we're gonna go new, and some of this stuff you have to kind of watch. I had to watch a couple YouTube videos to figure it out, but new expert advisor, and then I'm just gonna call this the chat bot, right? Chat bot. ChatGPT is gonna teach me how to make a bot. So I'm gonna call this the chat bot, and then now we have the code here. And so it comes out with some code, but you're just going to delete all the code. Okay. And then you have a fresh start. So now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. So let's do this together. Let's do this as kind of like a joint project here. What indicator would you want me to create a trading program? What indicator do you think, and let's keep it simple, but what indicator do you think would be a good one that we could play with? What do you guys think? Go ahead and let me know in the chat if we get any ideas. Okay, so we got a couple here. Let's see if we can throw out a couple more. Okay, so right now we've got moving average, right? And so that's a really good one. And so I'm getting a couple other good examples too: Smart Money, MACD, VWAP, CCI. So we've got a lot of good ones. I'm going to stick with the moving average because I want to keep it very simple, right? We want to keep it very simple. So you've got to remember, ChatGPT is going to write all the code for us, but we have to still tell it what to do. Now you can get really advanced with this, but I'm just going to break it down really simple because as you develop your skill in this, you can learn more things. But we could start out with a complex one and say, write me a profitable strategy with 3 indicators, right? And then ChatGPT will come up and do the whole thing. Me, because I know a lot about trading, I know a lot about strategies, I want to be a little more specific. And so we'll just start by saying, we'll say, write a trading program using MetaTrader 4, okay, MQL4 language that opens a trade when price closes above the 10 EMA. Okay, so we also want to give a couple other things, right? Because we need to tell it a couple other things. Like we want to say, include a stop loss of 200 pips and a take profit of 200 pips. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we will say, make the trade size. So we want to tell it how big. Trade size to be 0.1, right? So we're going to just do the trade size at 0.1. So it's going to, now we tell it to do that, and it's going to think a little bit, and it's going to come up with the code for us. Okay, so while it's thinking, you will want to go back and make sure that you have everything set up in your platform properly, which we just did. And so we're going to take the code that comes up and we're going to throw it right in here. Okay. And so what you're going to be able to understand is sometimes, so this isn't perfection. Remember, this tool is brand new. Okay. This tool is brand new, but it's going to get better and better all the time, right? It's going to get better and better all the time. So this is really complicated, but really what I've found out is I told people I was going to do this. So I'm making a confession here. David asked me what my topic was, and I'm like, I got to learn this ChatGPT. So then I was really busy, and I was like, oh man, I got a presentation. And so I just started playing with it for the first time this morning. So I confess I'm a procrastinator, but I was literally only playing with it for about an hour, and I got the whole thing figured out, and I had a working program in just an hour. Okay, and so that's why I have a little bit of confidence doing this, because I was playing with it for a while. So there might be some errors in here. Okay, so we're just doing a quick program, and so we're going to copy this. Okay, and then now we're going to go through, and we're going to paste the code right here. Okay, so the code is now pasted into the chatbot, and so in order, when you're you have to do something. You have to compile it and turn it into a program, so that it actually, so the software will test it. And I didn't even know this. I learned this today. And so it goes through a debugging process. So we click the start button. Okay. And actually, so now it actually pulled this up here, and it looks like it worked. Okay. And so now we're going to turn it on. All right. And so now it looks like it already took a couple trades here on my platform. So let's take a look. Let's add an indicator in here to see if it's working properly. And what we do is, when we test it, we're going to put 10 EMA on here. When we test it, we're going to have to find out if it's actually doing what it's supposed to do, right? So we're going to put on the moving average. We're going to put on a 10 EMA, and we're going to see if it looks pretty good. Okay, so now, if we can see, you can see that price is above the 10 EMA, right? And it just opened a trade automatically as soon as this happened. Now it looks like it opened a couple different trades. So maybe that's a problem with the code that we need to fix. Okay, so we can go back and say, make sure it only takes one trade at a time. So, you can see we have our stop loss in place. We have everything here. Okay, so let's now go back to the code here, and it did everything. It looked really good. No errors. Everything was perfect. But we still want to play with it, right? So let's think of something else that we want to add. And it gives you, if you want to learn some things about coding, right, we can just ask ChatGPT some questions. We can say something like, what does the order send command do? So we'll just ask ChatGPT, and it'll teach us. What does the order send? Because you can see it says order send right here. Order send command do. And ChatGPT will tell us, so you can kind of understand what the code is. Okay, so it's just going to tell you the order send command is used in MetaTrader 4 to send an order to open a trade on the market. It's used to submit market and pending orders, as well as to modify or delete existing orders. So now, it's telling you how this symbol works. Now, I just saw from David in the chat saying that it's at capacity. You just keep trying it if it's at capacity. One thing that I've learned here, they said they're going to upgrade their servers, but if you do it like at an off-peak time, it helps, right? Like do it in the evening or in the early morning or something. So here it's just giving us some different instructions on how to use this command, right? But now let's go here. So I already have a program that's running and working. And I'm actually going to shut this thing off because it's going a little crazy. You notice it's opening up mini trades, and I'm going to pause that because I don't want it to open up 50 million trades. So I'm actually going to go in here. It looks like they're in profit, some of them. So I'm I'm going to close these manually because I'm up $36. So that's pretty cool. I'm just making money with they say to do this on a demo account. And for good reason, because you never know what the robot's going to do, but I just made some money playing around with this. Okay. So anyways, what we want to do now is give it an additional command. So we want to make sure that it only takes one trade per signal. So because it just took 50 trades. So I'm going to say, modify the code to take only one trade per candle, or actually, how about this? Only modify the code. So you got to think. You still have to think, right? You have to think about what you want to tell it to do. So what I wanted to do is to only take the first signal. So I wanted to tell it to take the first time it closes below, and only one trade. So let's see if I can communicate that to the computer to tell it how to do that. So then you'll say, modify the code to take only the first time it closes below the EMA. Closes. So it's going to work for closing above the EMA and also closing below the EMA. So I want to see, I got to think about this because how do I word this? So let's just say, let's see. So I got some suggestions here. So David says, how about only take one trade in a longer time candle, or need a stop before opening another trade, right? So how about this? Modify the code to only have one trade open at a time. Okay, so we're going to do that. See if it can do that. So that way, if it's not going to do what we just had. Okay. So now it's coming up with the new code here. And so I started this, I think I started around 12 o'clock. Maybe I started a little bit early. We're only 15 minutes in, and I've already done a complete program in less than 15 minutes, right? And this is me not really knowing what I'm doing. And so you can see the benefit here, because the way it is right now, everybody has to go out and hire a coder, right? You got to hire somebody to do this for you. And so now you can do this on your own, and you don't have to worry about hiring someone, right? It's still going to take a lot of trial and error, but you can see the benefit for this. And so it doesn't matter what program you're using. If you're going to use MetaTrader, if you're going to use TradeStation, if you're going to use TradingView, any particular trading platform that has coding ability, you're going to be able to do this. Okay, now this is obviously a lot more complicated, and I honestly have no idea. I had no idea that one little thing was going to add that much code. Okay, so I'm going to read what it says here. So it says this modified script uses the MetaTrader 4 MQL4 language when the price closes above or below the 10 MA, but with the restriction of only having one open trade at a time. To achieve this, the variable ticket is added. Okay, so it's just kind of teaching you how it was doing it. It says two new blocks of code were added to check for an open trade and close it before opening a new one. So I don't know if that's exactly what I'm going to want. It says to check for an open trade and close it before, like, I don't necessarily want it to open and close trades. I want it to keep that trade open. So we're going to have to test this. We're going to have to test this and see if it's going to work. It says it's important to note that this script is a basic example, and it'd be good to optimize it and add more features according to your strategy and risk management, right? Also, before using this script on a live account, it should be thoroughly tested on demo. So I didn't follow the rules there. I'm actually, it's a very tiny account though, so it's not too bad. So let's try it out though. Let's see what happens. Okay. So we're going to copy it and we're going to now paste it into, so I'm just going to delete all this code. And so it was 41 lines and now we're up to 62 lines. Okay. So now we have a lot of code that we just added. We just added about 20 codes. So now I'm going to click this stop button here and we're going to see if this is working. Okay. So now this is good because what you're going to see is that there's 2 errors here. There's 2 errors. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to copy these errors. And I'm going to tell ChatGPT that there was errors, and he or she, I guess the AI is general neutral. So we're going to just say, we're going to tell them that there was the errors. Okay. And we're going to tell them that it was on line 25 and line 44. Error was on line 25 and 44. Please fix this error. All right. And so we'll see what happens now. Okay. So now we're going to go through this code. So again, this takes some time. And so we've been playing around a little bit, and it's not like the perfect solution, but I think that this is going to be a great solution for a lot of people. And I like it because it kind of puts more tools in the average trader's hand, right? So I want you to be thinking about this, right? I want you to be thinking about your own trading. What's your strategy? What strategy are you using right now? And do you think that you could you add hard rules to it and make it so that you could code this, right? So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for all of us, for people that are here that might not have coding experience, an opportunity for me, opportunity for you. And again, it's going to be on how creative are we going to be in using this tool? How creative are, the tool's going to be out there. Anybody's going to be able to use it. And so I think that's going to level the playing field. And so for some of us, that might make us a little nervous, but at the same time, whoever's more creative with the strategy will get there. Okay. So David just said his strategy is only losing money. Well, David, okay, you could take your strategy and code that into ChatGPT and then work with it until you tweak it, until you can make that strategy profitable, right? Okay, so now it's telling me why that error message was there. The error message you got was due to the fact that the order close function requires more parameters to be passed in order to properly execute. So they're kind of giving you some stuff about coding, and if you do this, you're going to probably need to pay attention to these messages and learn a little bit about coding. And you will automatically. I think what's going to happen is when you start playing around with these, you're going to find, oh, I see what it did. I can just change this. You're going to learn just through the process of doing. And it's maybe not quite so overwhelming because you can do some very basic ones. So I'm going to just test this right now, and we're going to try it again. So I'm going to put this in here and see if it fixed those errors. Okay, so we're going to try it out. So we're going to see if it fixed the errors. And it did. Look at that. It fixed the errors, because when it pops up like this, it fixed the errors. So that's kind of cool, right? It's not cool that it had errors, but whenever you could ask a coder or a programmer, whenever they're doing something, they will have some errors. They're definitely going to get errors. And so it's going to be very good. It's good, right? So we're just going to click OK now. I'm going to put it on here, and I'm very curious to see if this is going to work. So I don't have anything thing on. So I'm just going to turn this back on, and we'll see if it works here. And it's got a little error here. Oh, I have to click allow live trading. If you see that, if you ever do this, so there we go. And there it took the trade. Okay, look at what's happening. Do you see this? It's and I'm losing money by the second. It's it took that order command and it looked for a new trade, and then it closed another trade. So if we go back, so this thing is, it's AI and it's smart, but it's not, obviously, you still got to tell it what to do. There's still going to be some things. If you remember back here, I was questioning this. I said, ooh, I wonder it's going to check for an open trade and close it before opening a new one. So it didn't quite understand the idea. So I'm going to see if we can adjust this, give it. So it might've been my fault. I gave it the wrong code. I told it to only open one trade at a time. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll open one and then close it and open again. But how about if we say this, program it to only have one trade at a time and do not open another trade until it hits the stop loss or take profit. So let's see if we can try that. And if you guys have any other ideas on a way that we could communicate that to the computer, let's see if there's a better way. But I'm going to just say, change the code to allow, or to not open a new trade until the stop loss or take profit is reached. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see if that, and please post. And I don't know about you, I'm a person that has manners, and so I still say please to the AI. I don't know if that makes me really silly or what, but I do. I even tell the AI thank you. I don't know what's wrong with me. Please post the entire code below. All right. So now we're going to adjust the code again. Okay. And this again, so it takes some time. So it's not like this is going to happen right away. But there's 60 lines that it has to do, but it's pretty cool, right? I mean, I'm pretty excited about this. And I think it wouldn't take too long to really get what you want. And then you could back test and forward test and get this program to do what you want it to do. Okay. And so no matter what trading platform you're using, you're still going to have to kind of learn how to use the platform. I'm just giving an example on this one on how to do it. And so I think that you're still going to have to, there's still going to be some work involved, but it's a way less than trying to learn the language, because look how complicated this code is. I mean, the code was really complicated. And so now I got an error. Okay, I got an error. So I'm going to take that old code. I'm going to take the old code, and we're just going to create a new chat and see what happens. So I'm going to just say, we'll try one more time. And actually what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to say, take this code and convert it to Pine script for TradingView, right? For TradingView. So we're going to now take this code and see if we can convert it for TradingView. Let's see what it says. Okay, so I posted the code. Okay, so here's an example of how the code could be converted to Pine script for TradingView. Now, we don't even necessarily have to convert it either. You could just take this code, you could just take the rules and put it into ChatGPT and just start over from scratch. Maybe that would be easier than trying to convert code. So again, there's more than one way to get something done that you want to get done. But you kind of get the idea here, right? So it's going to be up to us to give better instructions and to really think. But one of the things I'm just trying to really get everybody to kind of grab a hold of is to be thinking big picture on your trading. Okay, if you're trading manually right now, and there's a way for you to turn that manual trading, and I'm just going to stop this because I'm going to play around with that other program first. But we can take this, copy it, and then I can go plug it right into my TradingView platform, which is right here. When you do that, you click Pine Editor, okay, and you just plug it right in to TradingView. And then you'll see here there's a Publish Script button. So we can do this with TradingView as well. And if you need some, you can build a lot of different things. You can build screeners, you can build strategies, you can build indicators. There's just really, the potential is huge with this, right? The potential is absolutely massive here. So I'm going to take this code again, and I'm going to post this in, and we're going to test it. Okay. Let's go back up here, and I'm going to stop this code, and we're going to keep adding some features here, just because I just want to show you guys how the whole process on how this would work from beginning to end. So we're going to just throw this code back in, and we're going to say, do not change this code to only take a new trade when stop loss or take profit is reached. So, and now it gives me another error. Okay, so this is just part of the issues with dealing with a new program. Try it one more time. And it's good that you're seeing me do this so you can know when you're getting some bugs, when there's some error. Change the previous code to only open a new trade after stop loss or the take profit is reached. Let's see if we can get it to work. All right, so there we go. It's working. All right, and I'm just going to double check the code here. I'm going to double check the code, make sure that it's the same. So trading room, our trading program, let's go back to ChatGPT. And so I'm just curious with everybody in the chat here, what are some things that you think that you could use this tool for? How many of you have played with this already? Let me know. And also, what are some things you think that you could use this tool for? I'd be really interested in the chat. I'm just trying to get some creative ideas here for everyone, because I'm using it for a lot, but my son is 16, and he was using it for something yesterday. And honestly, like, it's kind of funny because he's like in school, and it's like you could go in and say, write me a report, write me a report on whatever, and the thing will write a report. The thing is, here's the thing, right, about my son. If he's 16 and he turns in a paper that sounds like a graduate student from MIT wrote it, the teacher's going to be like, this kid ain't that smart. But then you could probably do ChatGPT, write me a report, and then make it sound like I'm in 10th grade. Use a 10th grade level, and you can say, make it more conversational. You can adjust it, add a few, ChatGPT, add a few typos, right? Just to make it seem like it's from a student. Like, so there's just, you can play with it a little bit and have a little fun with it, right? David said, that would be cheating. And you're right. Just because we have the ability to do it should we do that? Right? I'm actually going to school right now too, and I'm not going to cheat. I'm just not. I could. Well, I'll cheat. I will let it help me with research, and I have done that. I've let it help me with research. Right, and so it's really good. So I did a live presentation at my local church yesterday, and I was using an example for. I had just some illustrations and some examples, and I needed to do some research, and I was using ChatGPT to help me with my research. Right, so I was like, okay, help me find these. There's 7 Bible verses in the Bible that talk about this. How could you find those for me? And it did. I was looking for the USS Midway, which is a big aircraft carrier. And I said, ChatGPT, how many members were on board the USS Midway? And it came up and it said, tell me some of the jobs that they had on the ship. And so there's lots of different things that you can use it for. Okay, so the code is done. So let's see if how we did here. So yeah, sound like you guys are coming up with some ideas. Well, Kent, I love Kent's idea about creating a hedge fund. That would probably be like a series of, yeah. So David, I get sidetracked easier. A hedge fund would be a bunch of, you could maybe program mini winning strategies and plug it in and kind of create a hedge fund, which is very ambitious and I like it a lot. That's great. David was saying Pop was on US Bamber Bay. I took a tour a couple years ago. I went on the USS Midway, and man, it was just so cool. I loved it so much. Just because it was fantastic. All right, so we just ran this code here, and so we got a couple errors. So we're going to now tell ChatGPT about these errors. We're going to tell ChatGPT about these errors. So we're going to go through, and so let me just remember what the errors are, and I'm going to say there was the following errors. All right, there was take. I'm just going to try to copy these. Control C. On line, what line is it? It's on line 45. Okay. And then we're going to get this error. And then there was and also on line 45. It actually gives you the column too. Line 45, column 60. And I'm going to put all of the errors at one time, just because I don't want to have to go through all of the code and do it separately because it takes a long time. So we'll just say, and a warning on line 47, column 1. Okay, and there was, so we'll just try that out. And then there was 2 more. Okay, so I'm just going to say, we'll just copy them both here. Let's copy them both at the same time. And yeah, this is a little time consuming, maybe boring watching me type in code here, but I just kind of want you guys to get the idea here. Just get the idea on how this works. I'm just kind of taking it slow. Want you guys to be able to start playing with this on your own. And I had asked for some feedback but I want you to be thinking, not just in trading, but in anything, whatever you can actually think. I used it for emails, like, hey, I need to send out an email headline. Give me 7 email headlines that would work for this topic. Please fix them and add the entire code below. Come up with whatever you need, whatever you need. So let's see. So we got a good question here from David and Jim. Does TradingView require translating MQ4 code to PineScript? No, it doesn't. So what you would the best way to do this for TradingView is to bring up your trading platform here. And we'll try one here in a minute. Let me try TradingView after this is over, because I haven't done this. So we'll see what TradingView does, but we're just going to write the code. Is PineScript on TradeStation? No, TradeStation is like C. I forget. Easy. Maybe it's easy language. I forget the language on TradeStation. I have coded some stuff on TradeStation before, but I forget I didn't code it. I had someone code it for me. But it's easy language. Okay. Yeah. So David, I'm not sure what your question is. Your best advice for a strategy? Well, David, I would probably say whatever strategy you're using now, just try that and keep it simple, right? Just try it and keep it really simple, because with a computer program, you have to tell it exactly what to do. You have to tell it everything. And so, like, you notice how it opened up multiple trades for me? Like, I actually had to tell it that, because I had to tell it to stop doing that, because it didn't really know what it was happening. So, we got to be very specific with this stuff. Okay, so it looks like it's done. And we're going to try it again and see if it fixed those errors. It'll be really cool if it did. We'll pull this up, and we're going to copy this code. Let's delete it, copy, and let's see what happens. All right, so it's got a couple more errors again. So I'm not going to play with this now, just because it's getting a little bit long. So now what I'm going to do is jump over, and we're going to try a PineScript one. We're going to try a PineScript, and we're going to try. So I'm going to close this. Let's try. Let's try the RSI. So I've got an RSI here, and let's move this down to a lower time frame. Okay. Let's do a reversal strategy. Let's try a reversal strategy. Okay. So we're going to click new chat, and we're going to say, create a trading strategy using PineScript for TradingView. Okay. Then we're going to say, when RSI 14 period gets closes above 70, open a sell trade of 1. Okay. When RSI 14 period closes below 30, open a buy trade with a size of 1. Only open one trade at a time and do not open another trade until it reaches the stop loss or take profit. Okay, so we're going to try that out and see what it does for us. Okay, so now we're using Pine script, and it starts out with the variables here. So you can change the variable in the code too. So one of these things that you'll learn, oh, and I think I forgot to take profit, but it added it automatically. You see that? That's really interesting. So it has a stop loss equals 0.05, take profit equals 0.1, and I forgot to add that. So, but we could go in, once you understand how some of this code works, you could change it. So let's say we have the 14 period, we could test that with a 21. Or, you have your take profit at 10, you could change it to 100, right? And so, all right, well, here it is. And it says the strategy, so then it kind of summarizes it. This strategy uses a 14-period RSI relative strength index to determine entry points. If the RSI closes above 70, a sell trade with position is opened. Okay, and I didn't even tell it the stop loss. So I'm going to actually change this code here. Let's do. Oh, I'll have to put it in here. So I'm going to copy this now, and then I'm going to paste this into to the Pine script. So we're going to do. Let's pull this up a little bit. So we're going to just do this. I don't know what that code is, but I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay. So here's the code now. And so what we're going to do is we'll publish it. It says the active chart doesn't contain the study. Okay. So now I think we have to add it to the chart. So we're going to add it to the chart. Did that work? Could not find a function or reference for RSI. So I have an RSI on here. So I didn't play with this in advance like I did the MT4 one. So I would have to go in, watch a couple YouTube videos, kind of figure out what I need to do here in order to fix this error. But I could actually ask ChatGPT to see what it says here. See if ChatGPT, let's see what ChatGPT says about this error. That's the fun thing about it. We could watch a YouTube video, but we could also ask it. We got an error. So I would always recommend to kind of think the whole thing through ahead of time, so you know all the logic, because programming is all about logic. And this will help you be a better trader too, right? This will help you be a better trader. And let's see what changes here. The code is a lot shorter here. Okay. This is interesting. So it looks like there's an error because the RSI, because the RSI function is not a built-in function. So you might have to build the function itself. And so for people that know anything about coding is you have to define certain functions, right? So if RSI is not a function in the script, you have to tell it what RSI is. So we can try it and see. Let's try and see what happens. So David, you're not able to get access to ChatGPT right now? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so yeah, so that didn't work. We'll keep playing around with it. One other thing, so let's ask Let's ask a question here. So someone said, can code be written? Oh, you're talking about your trading. Well, you know what, David, this could be the tool that helps you, right? This could be the tool that helps you. Okay. And I can share a strategy here real quick that I like and I've been playing with. It works out pretty good. But there was a question here that said, can code be written to trade candlesticks patterns? So let's try this. Can you create code in MetaTrader for MQL4 language that trades the pin, but let's call it the Morning Star candlestick pattern? So I don't know the answer to this. Whoever asked this question, 20036, I don't know the answer, but we're going to find out. ChatGPT is going to tell us. So you see, it's taking some time to think, because that trading candlestick patterns is a lot more complicated for coding than indicators. Usually, beginners should trade with they should trade with indicators, right? At least in the coding world, because it's very simple. They're very simple to code, right? Candlestick patterns, you have to do a lot. You have to really teach the program what it's doing. And so it's having some problems with this one. Maybe it's trying to figure it out. And as the ChatGPT gets smarter and smarter and smarter, it's going to get more capabilities, right? You're not going to necessarily have to teach it step by step, because it's going to learn. From what I understand, the more that this is doing this, it's collecting more data. And so right now this is free, but this is a research preview. I believe they're going to start charging for this, right? So I think they're kind of just releasing it as a beta, getting tons and tons of data, and then they're going to be continuing to improve it. And as it gets better, it's going to improve. There's not going to have to be as much step-by-step instructions and things like that. And so you still have to give it a lot of specific language and things like that, but it's very good for giving you ideas, helping you come up with ideas. So like I could do something like, I'm bored, give me 5 fun things I could do today, right? And so, I'm not that creative, and it's really slow right now. So maybe the network's overflowing here. But, have you ever been in a situation where, you just don't know what to do? It's like, I can't come up with any ideas. What can I do? What can I do? And so this will help you with that. But we're going to close this down. And I'm going to try one more thing, because I'm getting close to out of time here. We're going to try to reload it. I'm bored. Can you give me 5 fun things to do? See if it comes up with anything. Okay, so it's just really overloaded right now. But when they get the paid version, it'll probably be a little bit better. But yeah, it's pretty good. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And I recommend that everybody check it out. If you're not going to use it for coding or for your trading, you could still use it for other stuff. But I think using it for trading is really just smart. I don't see why anyone wouldn't do it. And I really think it's pretty cool. So you just have to Google it, David, to find it. Just say ChatGPT and you'll get a Google link. And, as far as that's going to be it for today, I'm going to share. Just in case you're interested, I got an ebook here that is a prop trading strategy. So I'm just going to throw that in the chat if you guys want to do prop trading. By the way, you can use ChatGPT to create programs that will help you with your prop trading, but you can get this free guide that we prepared for you. Or also you can check me out at my website and listen to my podcast. I have been talking to a lot of good coding people lately. TradingStrategyGuides.com. And so you can get lots of good training there, and check out my hot podcast. David posted the link in the chat. So hopefully that was useful and interesting. Let me know if you have any feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm always interested in getting some good feedback. So yeah, thanks a lot, and really appreciate everyone's time today.